Hello and welcome to the final episode of La Jolla Babylon, Season 3, The Undoing of a Suburban Punk, a podcast where I read stories of my extended Gen X adolescence to my coddled millennial little sister, writer, actor, and comedian Katie Hartman. I'm your host, Aaron Hartman, and if you like what you hear, the best thing you can do is subscribe so you don't miss an episode, and please share this podcast with someone who you think will like it too. A 5-star rating doesn't hurt either. Okay, enough of that. Here we go. Hi, Katie. Welcome back.
Hi, Aaron. Thank you for having me once again.
Welcome back to yet another episode of La Jolla Babylon, Season 3.
Heck yeah. What's going on?
Well, it's weird to see you on the screen because I actually just recently saw you in real life.
Oh, yeah. Are we talking about real life stuff?
Just a tiny bit. The tiniest bit.
You know, I've never felt so famous as when I was at your daughter's bat mitzvah, and people just kept coming up to me saying how much they love the podcast.
Yeah, I know. It's always great when like the rabbi is like, "Oh, you're Katie."
Yeah, and I was like, "Yes, sir, that's me." Made him laugh too.
Oh, you did?
I can't remember what I said, but I made him laugh.
Good one.
Thank you.
Well, I'm sure the exact same thing would happen if I went to New York City. People would stop me on the street.
Yes.
And say, "Hey, you're Katie Hartman's brother."
Yeah, that's right.
So you are currently getting ready to head to Edinburgh.
Yeah.
Edinburgh.
Going to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. Yeah.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, very exciting. The show's great. The show's in a great place. You know, I love Edinburgh. I studied abroad there. It's like one of my very favorite cities. And I can't wait to go say hello again.
So cool you guys are doing that.
Yeah.
I'm so happy for you.
Thank you. And if you want to come out, we do have an extra room after the 4th.
Me?
Uh-huh.
I thought you were talking about the general audience.
No. If you don't know me, please don't. Please don't come. Also, because I
wanna
won't be there
me.
anymore. If you want to leave your family behind for a few days a week. See some weird theater.
Oh, God.
Sorry.
All right. I do want to say one thing that I was just thinking about, which was, so we did just see each other at my daughter's bat mitzvah.
Yes, in the flesh.
We do not need to get into that so much, although it was
perfect
amazing.
And wonderful.
It was great.
Fantastic.
But one thing that it made me think about was I still don't know the actual words to the blessings or to the prayers. I fake it like it, and I've been doing this my entire life. Like when I was a kid, I never really knew them, but you're in a crowd and you can kind of be like, you know, and you can.
That's not good faking, Aaron.
Mumble.
If that's what you're doing.
And then you go into your trombone.
Yeah, and then you pull out your Muppet and you're like, the Muppet said it.
But it's really true. Like, and I feel like that kind of thing sort of falls between the cracks, you know, as you're kind of like in this room of a couple hundred people all, and, you know, most people kind of know these words. I mean, and for the audience, the words are not in English, right? They're either in Hebrew or Aramaic. Yeah. And I know the melodies. I know where, you know, the approximate consonants that I'm supposed to be kind of faking. But for sure, like I'll do like a sh sound when it should be a t sound pretty often. You know what I mean? I'm just bringing this up because I feel like that kind of like general bullshitting, it has sort of like followed me through my life.
You're not the only person in that room doing that. You can't be.
Oh, I know.
I would say the percentage is probably 75% of the people are doing what you're doing. Don't you think?
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to include any of this because I don't necessarily want to talk about like Judaism on this podcast. I already do it too much.
Okay, up to you. Very funny.
So, okay, I'm just going to start talking about what we're about to listen to, if that's okay with you.
I give you permission.
So first of all, this is going to be the last episode of season 3.
Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah. And my original plan was to have 3 seasons, and season 3 was going to have 10 episodes, just like seasons 1 and 2. But I I just want to get these out there because it's taking so long. So season 3 is going to be a little shorter, and then season 4 will be even shorter.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it ends on a nice note as well. Spoiler. I guess that's not really a spoiler. Anyway, keep all that in. So this is one of my favorite things I've ever written. And it was actually really easy to write, which is different from almost every other word all the other words that I've ever put to paper kind of flowed out. And it's a couple of stories that lead into each other. It was almost like a diary entry. And I had to change a lot of things around that we'll talk about at the end after you've listened to this. But nothing bad happens in this.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Is that nice?
Yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah. No one hurts anyone. Mm-hmm. No one.
How much masturbation is there?
The masturbation's implied.
It's about 75%.
Yeah, no, the masturbation is sort of like always hovering in the background, but no, it's a fun one, I think. I don't know about fun, but
Jesus. It's super fun. Well, I don't know about fun, but it's a
little bit of a slog, but I think you'll get through it.
Yeah, good. We're selling it.
Yeah. So it's about 24 minutes or something like that. It's a little bit of a longer guy.
Great.
Yeah. Okay, so I will send you the link. Oh my God. Anyway, I'll send you the link and let me know when you're done.
Okay, bye.
Goodbye. Like, when we spend this much time Spartanburg. The upper room never brought anyone along on tour to help with the driving or business logistics. We did our own books in a spiral notepad, adding fees and merch, subtracting gas and other expenses. We would do a cash on hand count every couple days, and we were always accurate to the penny. No one else has ever carried any of our instruments or amps. We never made much money, but we would sometimes have a few $1,000s piled up in the mic bag we used to hold our cash and would make deposits into Addington's Bank of America account when we started to get nervous. None of us ever filed taxes. I was hired to manage a band on a real professional tour. I'd never done one of those before. I was 33. They wanted to make sure they got to their gigs on time and that all the little things were taken care of. I was the perfect candidate. The band was an extremely likable 4-piece from Los Angeles. They'd made a 4-song EP that no one could stop listening to. It sounded like the Carpenters mixed with Ennio Morricone, with heartbreaking lyrics sung by a magnetic anarchist. We talked on the phone and emailed our expectations for each other in lieu of a contract. They had a booking agent, manager, business manager, and a publicist. They were negotiating getting signed by a fancy label in New York. They were so LA. They hired me and rented my big old diesel Chevy camper van. It was 30 years old and loud as a motherfucker. They wanted to show up to their fancy gigs looking scrappy. The tour was opening for a beloved Portland band who were selling out theaters at the time. The itinerary was brutal. We made a continental smiley face from the Northwest, down California, to Arizona, Texas, New Orleans, D.C., Boston, Philly, and finally, New York City. The headliner had a tour bus they slept in as the professional driver brought them from city to city. They ate from their elaborate backstage spread, taking some beers onto the bus after the show while the crew loaded the trailer. When the band woke up 10 hours later in a hotel parking lot near the venue, they were already checked in. They showered, watched some TV, settled into their rooms, but never actually slept there. They worked out, went record shopping, and caught cabs, while their tour manager settled details with the house. Soundcheck started at 3 p.m. Meanwhile, me and the opening band didn't have money for hotels, so we'd leave the venue, drive all night, or sleep at a stranger's house, waking at dawn to start an 8+ hour drive, maybe stopping at a Waffle House, sometimes dipping into a cooler of food we snacked on throughout the day. The expectation was the opening band shows up on time, acts professionally on and off stage, and they deal with their own shit. That's what I was hired to do. I drove 100% of the miles and took care of them like they were my own children. The money was good. I had a weekly fee that dwarfed anything I'd ever made doing anything else, especially playing music. The band's business manager wired me funds ahead of time since I lived in Portland and needed to pick them up in LA and retrace my steps for their first show, which was in Portland. Their next show was in San Francisco. I drove about 2,500 miles to get them to their first 2 gigs. Their manager called as we passed Mount Shasta and expressed bewilderment that I was not traveling with a laptop. He wanted me to set up radio interviews for them. He'd email me phone numbers to get in touch with various college stations that would be expecting to hear from me. I told him I was driving between 6 and 12 hours a day and would need to deal with venues, meals, books, and sleeping arrangements. I could talk on the phone while driving, but could not initiate calls or take notes. The manager said, "Fine, not very professional, Adam," and hung up on me. After the first 2 nights, I realized one of my duties was to get in good with the house sound person and warn them to ride the fader as the singer whispered and danced and gesticulated in ways that brought her face toward and away from her mic. The band constantly thanked me. Danny, the career musician who spent his time in the van writing string arrangements for TV shows, told me I was the best tour manager ever. And I sort of agreed. I was good at this. Functioning on no sleep, being in charge, negotiating, having answers. I absorbed the band's praises greedily. I thought maybe I'd found my thing. Heading from Atlanta to Washington, D.C., my van stopped shifting into 5th gear, then to 4th. Then we were stuck in 1st. Then we were stuck on the side of I-85, outside of Spartanburg, South Carolina. Not good. We managed to get towed to a transmission shop that the driver promised would not ass-rape me on the price. It was Saturday afternoon, and the tow driver explained that nothing would be open until Monday, not even gas stations. The band rented a car, loaded their gear, and waved goodbye as I contemplated my next move. I sat alone in the driveway of Cook's Transmissions and took some deep breaths. There was a family going in and out of a Baptist church next door, which looked more like a hardware store. I walked over and asked if there would be services the next day, explaining my predicament. They said of course, they would be proud to have me. Come on by at 10. On the way back to my van, I said to myself, these guys are going to take me out to lunch tomorrow. I brushed my teeth using bottled water and took a shit in the mechanic's ample backyard. I slept unwell in the well-lit driveway of the transmission shop. The family rolled up just before 10 and were genuinely happy to see me. The father introduced himself. My name is Carter, but everyone around here calls me Bishop. My wife, Judy, my son and daughter, Elijah and Marquella. I introduced myself. Adam? The first man. Welcome to the Church of the Rock. Please stick around after the service. We usually go out to a big lunch afterward, and it would be a pleasure to treat you as our guest. Fuck yeah! Wonderful. Thank you very much indeed. Service was pretty good. 10-year-old Elijah played decent drums, and there were some nice vocal solos by Judy and a few others. Bishop himself was a little underwhelming, just nothing very stirring. He kept his head down and read prepared words of praise, offering prayers to folks in the community, and if I'm going to be honest, seemed a little out of his element. His deacon, however, seemed exactly where he should be. He was at least 6'5" and wore a shiny yellow suit with a brown tie. It was a straight-up zoot suit. He was in his early 20s, handsome, with very dark skin, and a feistiness that made me think he'd found God more recently than the rest of the congregation. He hugged me, and I was a little afraid he would lift me up like a child. I rode with Deacon Charlie and Daniel, who was totally blind, to Kenny's Home Cooking, a glorious all-you-can-eat restaurant serving almost exclusively fried versions of otherwise healthy food. Someone took a picture of me at the table using my phone. It's blurry, but shows me happy, smiling, the only white face, the only non-Christian. So Adam, tell us about yourself. Have you had Christ in your life for a long time? Actually, I'm Jewish. Deacon Charlie stood up where he was. What? Oh no, Jewish? No, really? The table laughed. Yeah, both my parents. I think I had some rabbis in my family back in Russia before they all moved here around 1910. Bishop appraised me kindly. Always kindly. Well, my friend, I do not believe in accidents or coincidences. God put you right here with us for a reason. Don't you all agree? Vociferous agreements from every direction. Thinking about being at that table with this amazing group of people, feeling them want me to see the light, still makes me tear up. I'm just not ticklish when it comes to the soft feather of religion. Just not. But they tried. After lunch, we all loosened our belts and made our way back to various cars. Bishop asked if I'd ever been to a revival, and did I want to come with him and Blind Daniel to a neighborhood where there was no church. You see, Adam, we bring the church to these folks. 3 or 4 of our fellow Christian churches set up a tent, have free food, and sing gospel songs and help the poor souls any way we can. Come, my friend. You'll like it. And I did. There was a music festival vibe when we arrived. There were 4 parking spots on the grass, 1 reserved for each minister. The churches were having a singing competition with a clapometer and everything. The 3 other ministers approached us with big open arms and sweaty hands. They wore incredible suits. And their wives. The dresses, the hats. Some of the folks they were preaching to were practically naked. Some were smoking crack in the open. It was November 1st and close to 80 degrees. Bishop Carter, you made it. Introduce us to your friend. This here is our new friend, Adam. He's here all the way from Portland, Oregon. He's a musician and his van broke down. We'll be blessed with his company for a few days, thank the Lord. Adam, this is Bishop Jonah, Bishop Richard, and Bishop Cornelius. Bishop Cornelius smiled. Bishop Carter, are you going to say a few words this afternoon? Is anyone from the Rock going to participate in our sing-off? No, thank you, my friend. I think I've said all I have to say at church this morning. But Brother Daniel has a very nice rap he'll be doing as soon as it's his turn. It was becoming clear that my bishop was low man on the local totem pole in the competitive world of spiritual leadership. The other men gave each other subtle but not that subtle glances and headed back to the tent. Daniel's rap was not especially compelling, and maybe I'm projecting, but I could see Bishop Carter smiling, possibly wishing, praying? that it was just a little better. Bishop and I drove Daniel back to the School for the Blind and talked about God and politics and geography. Bishop told me he did not like Jesse Jackson because he only came out when there was an election or a natural disaster. Where's Jesse when there's no cameras? He is not interested in helping our community. He's a typical liberal. He wants everyone to be just like him and his New York friends. He brought me to his house to shower and insisted I let them lend me a bike while I was in town so I could get around. The street the mechanic and church were on was a side street about a mile from downtown. Their welcoming spirit was not part of their plot to convert me. They were just the nicest people I'd ever met. Despite my protests, Bishop told me he would be there in the morning when the mechanic opened his doors at 7 a.m. We could get breakfast nearby. Once I was back at the van at night, I felt very lonely. I walked to the main road and saw a sign for karaoke. I could not believe it. It was a real bar, with beer and young people and merriment. There was a group of people who looked a few years younger than myself, and there was an open stool, so I sat down, ordered a beer, and grabbed a songbook. I sang Celebrate by Kool and the Gang. When I sat back down, I was surrounded by new friends. I told my story to the group of baseball-hatted men and poofy-haired women. Hey man, welcome to Spartanburg, South Carolina. The leader of the group was taller, more handsome than the rest, and seemed to be buying the drinks. A girl and I talked a bit. Her name was Shelley. She asked me about Portland, being on the road, what kind of music I played, and all that. Then I sang Aqualung, and she practically sat on my lap. I would not accept any more beers, and she was loopy. I tried to make small talk. Man, today was so bizarre. I spent the day at a church with a very nice Baptist family. Shelley leaned in. What's so weird about that? I guess it's not that weird. I'm Jewish, so I haven't spent much time in churches. Shelley had talked to me for an hour and seemed to want to kiss me a minute before. She now turned herself 180 degrees from me and never turned back around. It was not subtle, and I had never experienced anything like it. I had not seen another white face that day until I walked into the bar. It dawned on me that I was in a whites-only establishment, and I had been one of them until I wasn't. I walked back to the van, did my new bedtime routine, and went to sleep. I was waiting outside at 7 a.m. when someone from Cook's Transmission opened the front door. The gentleman looked at me kindly and said, "So we're broke down?" He told me he'd look at the van first thing and should have a diagnosis by the afternoon. I told him I was in a hurry because I was supposed to meet this band, etc. I could feel the more I talked, the less he cared, so I stopped talking. I walked out feeling so-so about my prospects for meeting back up with Purple Sunshine. I was about to calculate how much money I was going to lose when I bumped into Bishop Carter. "Good morning, Adam. Hungry?" "Very, but I'm buying this time." We walked down the street and ate at a pancake house. We asked each other about our backgrounds. He was very interested in me. Just could not believe he was fortunate enough to meet a real musician from the West Coast, a Jew no less. And I could not believe I had the fortune to get to know a real Baptist minister in the Deep South. We walked to his church and talked about music. I told him I listened to some gospel and had a decent familiarity with Mahalia Jackson. When he learned my band's name was The Upper Room, he looked at me like, "Gotcha now." I told him I got the same feeling listening to Mahalia as I did listening to some punk music and even some Islamic music. He just looked at me. I went into my van and met Bishop back at his church with a CD of Nusrat Fateh Allah Khan. I'd been obsessed with it for 20 years. Bishop turned on the PA, and I played the second song, which I knew to be especially deep. Bishop listened for real. Looked at me, and I could see him get it. Yes, I hear what you mean. This is very moving. We seem to be singing to the same God. That was the highlight of my life at that time. I returned to Cook's in the afternoon and was told that the tranny was shot and needed a full replacement, and a rebuilt one would cost $2,000 and would not be ready until Thursday. Sorry, sir, I know that's not the answer you were hoping to hear. Do you need to pray on it for a while? I can get started whenever you need me to. I did not need to pray on it. I needed to get the fuck out of Spartanburg. I got myself a hotel room a mile or so away. There were signs at the front desk stating they would absolutely not tolerate prostitutes. Methought they doth protest too much. I got to know that square mile the way you do when you're lost. I found my spot for coffee, an Asian market for fresh fruit, and a park with trees and benches to read during the day. I did as much for Purple Sunshine as I could from where I was, mapping out routes and calling the venues to confirm what needed confirmation. I bought a few pounds of tomatoes, an onion, some garlic, fresh basil, olive oil, a pound of beef, and brought it all to Bishop's house. I'm making dinner. Spaghetti and sauce from scratch. In one of our long conversations, he told me they'd never had fresh sauce and arranged for me to come over for dinner on my last night. I browned the beef and sliced the tomatoes, garlic, and onion. I added the onion first, tossing the garlic and tomato together, pushing them around the olive oil until I was satisfied that it would all cook evenly. This is usually the point where someone comments on how good things are starting to smell, but no one visited me in the kitchen. They were watching TV. They only watched Christian channels and were enjoying being cooked for. I was annoyed at first, but settled into my role as guest chef. At the table, Bishop's kids devoured the food I made. Elijah looked at me through thick glasses and blurted, "Where have you been all my life?" That may have been the second greatest moment of my life. I picked the van up at 7 the next morning, paid the mechanic most of the money I had hoped to make on tour, and headed north, driving 600 miles as fast as possible to Philadelphia. I recited different versions of my time in Spartanburg, honing in on the best way to describe my adventures with Bishop, the revival, the white supremacist bar. I arrived to the city close to Purple Sunshine stage time. I charged my way into the venue where the bands were hanging out backstage. Everyone hugged me, even the standoffish headliners. The days I was in Spartanburg were hard on the band. Even when I was around doing everything for them, they fought among themselves. In fact, I worked out that every single person in the band had complained to me about every other person in the band. That's 12 discrete individual complaints. I calculated how many hours they'd driven without me for the 2 gigs I missed, and figured they would have been easy days for me had I been there. But their manager was pissed. "What are you doing taking time off in the middle of a tour? These guys are on their own out there, Adam." I thought about the hundreds of thousands of miles me and my bands have driven over the years, and thought this guy was blowing smoke up my ass. They finished their tour in New York, where they played Joe's Pub to a full house, packed with fancy music people. I watched from the sound booth and could feel the band take over the room. Ricky's stage banter was funny, emotional, and I know for a fact, totally improvised. I was sure I was watching her step into the role of an A-list artist. The band flew back to LA, and I stuck around New York for a few days to meet with their business manager and visit my sisters before hauling ass across the country with all their gear. The meeting with the business manager was weird. She basically told me to spend as much money on myself on my drive home as I wanted. Take yourself out at least twice a day and stay in hotels, not motels. The band will take care of it. I happened to know they were losing tons of money and was a little shocked. Did she know something I did not? I didn't think so. The night before I left, I went to the birthday party of Addington's best friend from early childhood. Addington grew up in Little Rock, Arkansas, and reunited with Belinda about 30 years and many lives later. A dancer and healer, she was an amazing soul, full of light and action and dark humor. Her party was at a classy Brooklyn bar, which she took over with a long table full of delicious food. I found myself in conversations, all seemingly devised to keep me in secluded corners, not joining the others. I felt penned in and needed to move around before my long drive the next morning. Plus, there was a woman in the room I could not stop staring at. She would become my wife. Hi.
Hi.
Welcome back.
Hey, thanks. That was fun.
Oh, thank you.
I also, near the end when you were when you were talking about like saying the tale out loud for yourself so you could really hone into it, that was like, and I thought back to you being like, this was the easiest chapter to write. It's because you've written it already.
Right.
Yeah, but like that's such like a fun, natural thing that we all do.
Right.
But I also feel especially that you do that.
I do that. Well, I mean, I had like 9 hours in the van.
Yeah.
Just booking, in this like 1983 diesel Chevy that like really sounded like, just you could hear me 2 blocks away.
Wild. But you land in there, surrounded by all the Baptists. Dang.
And, yeah.
Did you ever think like maybe I shouldn't tell them I'm Jewish?
No, because I would have gotten caught because like I don't know anything about Christianity.
Well,
I mean, it was obvious. I mean, it was okay. It was a little bit weird that I asked them if I could join them for church service.
Yeah, yeah.
But I just kind of wanted to go because I love a good Baptist church service.
Sure, yeah.
I didn't really know that I was going to get so up and personal with the family.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah. I love that you made them dinner.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, that was one of the best things.
And for the listeners out there, Aaron's good at cooking. He's good at it.
I can saute some tomatoes. Yeah, there are a couple of things I can do.
You can do a lot of things. When I was at your place, you made some very good eggs on toast. And I know that sounds like nothing, but it was very good.
Right. I can cook things that don't require looking at a recipe. I'll say that.
That's good.
Yeah.
I like looking at recipes personally. Yeah. And remind me, because I don't remember, did you ever tour manage again? Other than yourself?
No. In fact, thank you for bringing this up.
A real thank you or why did you bring this up?
No, it's good because now I get to tell the story.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so I really loved doing it. I was really good at it and it was really fun. But the band kind of fucked me.
Oh.
And it really left this super sour taste in my mouth. And what happened was, so we had this email that we sent back and forth, where I was like, here are my expectations from you and here's what you can expect from me. And we sort of like had a couple back and forths, but they were pretty much like, yes. And I had a day rate, right? And obviously when I was stuck in Spartanburg, I didn't get paid. So when I got back, I sent in all of the receipts. I had this very kind of elaborate accounting thing. And I got one check for about a third of what they owed me. No explanation, no invoice saying this is part 1 of 3, anything like that. Just a check. So I wrote the band. I was like, hey, what's going on with this? And, one of them was like, we need to pay our people. This is not right. This is not how, we need to do things moving forward or whatever. And then all of a sudden I stopped hearing from them entirely.
Oh my God.
They just completely, ghosted me. And these were good friends of mine.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And I was just like, you guys are choosing to listen to your manager who wants to fuck me on this money because you guys lost so much money on this tour. I'm sure their manager said, don't communicate, let us deal with him. I'm sure that they were told to do that. And it was one of those things where you learn over and over again, like in indie rock or any other kind of independent thing, everyone's cool until they're not. Mm-hmm. And then there's no HR. You know what I mean? So I, as I can do, kind of went nuclear. And
yeah.
In the form of emails. Do you know what I mean? I was just basically like, you guys, this was our agreement. There's nothing in this that says anything about anything other than my day rate. And, there may be some industry standard that I'd never heard of before, which I'm sure is true, but like, that's not what we had talked about. And even still, you would still owe me another couple $1,000s or however much it was, more than the check that I got. And so I just, I went for the jugular at that point. I was kind of like, you guys are being bad people. Mm-hmm. Like, you claim to be good people. Their whole show was kind of like, world peace and blah, blah, blah. And
are we going to name names?
We're not. It'd be very easy. I'll just say that I named them Purple Sunshine. It'd be very easy to figure out who I'm talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think we can talk offline.
I'm just saying someone, if they were interested, could sort of Google what Los Angeles 4-piece.
We're not saying that you should do this.
No.
We're not saying that anyone should do this.
No.
And we're not even saying this was a real thing that happened.
No. I'm just saying they're not going to be Googleable from the show notes from this podcast.
Wonderful.
So it was so painful just to see, first of all, the hypocrisy just for, some money, and also just them choosing to listen to their kind of shitty LA music world managers rather than their own obvious hearts, which was like to be good to their people, Anyway, so I'm glad that you brought that up because I got the story.
Never tour managed again.
Which I had excluded from the story itself. I had written it and I took it out because it was
you didn't quite need it, I think.
And the manuscript is not petty, but this podcast,
we can be petty on the podcast. Fuck them. Fuck them and their dogs.
Yeah, really, truly.
Yeah. Wow.
And their dogs?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
That's like the meanest thing I could think of.
Oh, got it. Okay.
But I really don't want anything to happen to their dogs if they have dogs.
No. It's all good.
I
never tour managed again.
That was like it's just like a really, I could watch the film about this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
a little fish out of water story.
I have that picture of me somewhere.
You got to find it.
I know. It's somewhere on some hard drive.
And what year was this? Remind me.
Yeah, this would have been
2008?
2006.
2006. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Right, because it was 2006 when...
met your wife.
I met my wife. That's right. Yeah. And I think you heard me try that out a couple times.
Loved it. Love
Katie
hearing the process.
The version Katie listened to was still needed a little bit of editing, and I realized it had me going, and she would become my wife, and she would become my wife, and she would become my wife,
and she would become. Oh wait, can you just re-record the whole thing and just do it in a Borat voice?
Yes I can.
And it just pays off at the very end. Everyone's like, why is this happening?
Why is this happening? What is the point of this? Oh, not worth it.
No, not worth it. Man, is there anything that you wanted me specifically to ask you about?
No, I mean, but just seemed like a good conclusion to the season, right?
Yeah.
I just, as I was kind of thinking about how this whole thing is going to go, because we are making this up, we don't have, I basically
you and me?
Who you and me, yeah.
Yeah, there's no rules.
There's no rules. I was looking at the manuscript and I kind of chopped it up into these episodes and these seasons, and the truth is I need to relook at the final chapters and do a little bit more editing, I think.
Okay.
Before it goes out into the public. So
great.
So yeah, and it just took so long to get season 3 into the world.
Yeah.
That I just wanted to get this out there. Yeah.
Great. Yeah. No, I think that's great. How many episodes is it? 7? 6?
You know,
we don't know yet.
Entirely know.
Yeah, we don't know yet. That's okay.
There might be a couple that I don't include. Yeah.
Got it. Not a problem.
Bonus episodes for people who want to hear me really talk shit.
Boner episodes for our Patreon listeners.
Right. Again, this has just been so fucking great and so fun to hang out with you, and I love your observations, you know, to see things through your eyes, which is very, you know, strange and
thank you.
No, but like it's enlightening in this way where I just never know what you're going to say. I never know what take you're going to have, and so it's always
Sure.
it's always really sweet. Yeah. Good.
I'm glad that you appreciate that. And if we could just get everyone else on board.
I know.
Just kidding.
But no, but just like the idea that, you know, I've had these writings, you know, sitting there, and then you hear them and are kind of more or less responding in real time, right? Because like
for real.
Just for the audience, like the way we do it is, you know, you hear me say, "I'll send you the file," and then I literally click send on the file. Katie listens to the recordings and then text back, "I'm done," and we get right onto the mics, which might be kind of obvious.
I don't know if you have to explain it, but that's okay. No, but there have been times when we were like, "Oh, I'll listen to it," and like you were like, "Maybe we could talk about it later," but it needs to be fresh. I feel like it needs to be fresh. It's not easy to, at least for me with my little brain.
Right.
I like to respond immediately.
Yeah. Hot take. Yeah.
Well, this was wonderful. Happy season 3.
Happy season 3. Yeah. And as I say, if you like what you hear, the best thing you can do for us and this podcast is to let someone who you think might like it find out about it. Wait, how can I say that?
If you like this podcast, actually, I don't give a fuck. If you hate this podcast too, I don't care. Either way, this is a directive. Just go give us 5 stars on the Apple Podcasts or Apple Music or whatever it's called. Go to Spotify. Do it all. Give us a good review. We're just siblings out here making it happen.
Yeah, using some free software and some cheap mics. You know, talking shit.
Oh, my mic was kind of expensive.
My mic was $110.
Is that cheap?
It's cheap for what I've gotten out of it. Yeah, I've recorded drums with this thing. Yeah,
dang.
I know this mic rules. I mean, listen to this. This is incredible.
You could start doing some ASMR stuff.
I know. I probably should. All right. Well, Katie, this is so fun, and I think we are not going to record again until you come back from Edinburgh.
That's true. I'm not bringing this with me. I'm not bringing this mic with me, but
you're not bringing your closet with you.
I bet David will. It doesn't matter. Well, I love you so much.
I love you too.
I'll see you in a month.
What? That doesn't. We can't end a podcast with that. That doesn't make any sense for people.
Well, okay. You're the one who brought it up. I was just going along with it. This has been great.
This has been great. I'll see you later.
Great.
I'll see you at unspecified time.
Unspecified. Or never again. I don't know. Oh. Love you.
I love you too. Bye. What? Oh, no. Jewish? No. Really? Thank you so much for listening all the way to the end of the season. La Jolla Babylon is written, produced, and edited by Aaron Hartman, with music by Aaron Hartman, co-piloted by Katie Hartman, presented in association with Ruinous Media. We'd love to hear from you. You can find us on Instagram, or you can send us an old-timey email at lajollababylon@gmail.com. Please subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Your 5-star rating and review will help others find this fucking podcast. To hear more episodes of this show or other Ruinous Media podcasts, please go to ruinousmedia.com or wherever you get your podcasts.